Capitalism won. Dominion won. Did democracy get anything out of this?
What does that mean for democracy?
Democracy loses, capitalism wins.
Welcome to this week's Wacky Moments of Leftist Extremism. On Tuesday, Dominion Voting Systems settled its lawsuit against Fox News. Now, the settlement was one of the most heartbreaking developments for the left-wing media. Democracy, it's now lost.
Capitalism won. Dominion won. Did democracy get anything out of this?
What does that mean for democracy?
Democracy loses, capitalism wins.
When you guys say that they admitted that they lied, no, they didn't.
Don't have to apologize.
There's no apology.
They didn't even have to issue a public apology.
Of course, neither CNN or NBC offered up public apologies after settling their defamation lawsuits involving Nick Sandmann, who is suing for hundreds of millions of dollars.
CNN has agreed to settle a lawsuit with Covington Catholic student Nick Sandmann.
Chris Riva is at the alert desk. And Chris, we broke this story.
Yeah, Lauren Artino was the reporter in the courtroom today. Cameras and cell phones were not allowed inside the courtroom, but the amount of the settlement is not public at this point. So it's part of an $800 million plus lawsuit filed against CNN and the Washington Post, along with NBC Universal.
No apology, and the amount of money was sealed. They never talked about it, so we never got to know how much they paid. But the leftist media didn't complain then. But of course, the media now makes the totally insane leap of logic that by settling the suit, Fox News should now be banned from military bases because it radicalizes the troops.
You know that Fox is broadcast on military bases?
Yes.
Now, that is a tax-funded facility. Those are tax-funded facilities. They should not be broadcasting lies to our military. We are paying for that. Those boys and girls are going out there defending this country, risking their lives, and they're being fed lies on a regular basis. That needs to be changed immediately.
And by the way, being radicalized.
Yeah.
Being radicalized by what they're hearing and what they're listening.
I'm not sure how they get radicalized. They never explain that on The View, but maybe just preferring to watch Fox News over The View is the radical act that they fear the most. The real radical act happened over on MSNBC this week, as somehow Joe Scarborough made the whole Fox court settlement issue all about himself.
And this is a personal note for me. For 20 years, I've called different lawyers. I said, this person's accusing me of being a murderer. That person, and Meeks has been there for a lot of it. I want to sue him. Oh, no, what do you mean? I can't sue them. They go, you've got to prove actual malice. I said, it's obviously, no, I didn't. Oh, but you don't know what's in there. So I've learned, unfortunately, the hard way over 20 years, defamation, almost impossible to prove.
Almost. But of course, if settlements prove something, you may want to talk to your parent company there, Joe. Of course, just like any other week, this week featured MSNBC making many, many strange claims.
Yesterday, during a Homeland Security hearing, Green was silenced after repeating a debunked right-wing conspiracy theory that a Democratic colleague is having an extramarital affair with a Chinese spy, while also calling the Homeland Security Secretary a liar.
That was quite entertaining from someone that had a sexual relationship with a Chinese spy, and everyone knows it. But
I moved to take her words down.
But her words were not stricken down. They were allowed to remain on the record. And maybe it's because it's unclear if Swalwell has ever specifically denied having a sexual relationship with Chinese spy Fang Fang. And whatever the relationship allegations are, they're legitimate enough that he got booted off the House Intelligence Committee because of them. But of course, Joy Reid claims
A debunked right-wing conspiracy theory.
Yeah, total conspiracy theory. Unlike the unintelligent anti-gun rights info that's being peddled by the left. Take it away, CBS.
In Alabama and Missouri, well, they have the 4th and 9th highest firearm mortality rates in the country, respectively. And Texas, it has the heaviest burden of gun deaths in this country. Deaths by gun violence, 4,600 a year. And that is only good enough in that state for 27th as a mortality rate, middle of the pack. Think about that. In all 3 of those states, no permit is required to purchase a rifle, to purchase a shotgun, or to purchase a handgun.
But only 7 states have that requirement. Alabama, Missouri, and Texas find themselves among the vast majority of states. It Also, in regards to gun violence mortality rates, the numbers that CBS used include suicides, which historically make up about 2/3 of gun deaths. But, don't mention these facts. Facts that don't go with the liberal mantra are part of
a debunked right-wing conspiracy theory.
In fact, on CNN, you don't even get to have an opinion on guns and civil rights unless you are black, according to Don Lemon.
Play a big role.
This is just historical fact, but
it's not historical fact.
The part that I
just
find
because you say it's historical fact.
The part that I find insulting is when you say today black Americans don't have those rights after we have gone through civil rights revolution in this country.
You are sitting here telling an African American about the rights and what you find insulting about the way I live, the skin I live in every day.
Here's where you and I have a different point of view.
Black and white that black people don't have in this country, and that black people do have.
You can't claim that civil rights include the right to bear arms unless you're black, I guess.
Well, here's where you and I have a different point of view. I think we should be able to express our views regardless of the color of our skin. We should have this debate without me regarding you as a black man, but me regarding you as a fellow citizen. That's what I think we should see.
Whatever ethnicity you are, explaining to me.
Whatever ethnicity you are. Wow, Don just seems just a little racist, just a tad. But for the left, any argument against the Second Amendment is a good and valid one. In fact, some argue that the amendment is obsolete.
An obsolete amendment that was established, really. People need to read the history. Do your homework, folks. The Hidden History of the Second Amendment by Professor Carl T. Bogus.
This does sound pretty bogus.
An amendment, the Second Amendment, was meant to prevent slave insurrections and slave rebellions. That is why people are losing out. There was no individual right.
So despite what any reputable historian would tell you, MSNBC argues that the Second Amendment wasn't created to fight against potential government tyranny. To me, that sounds
bogus.
It also sounds rather...
It is depraved.
And speaking of depraved...
And later, one woman says being pregnant in Florida is like a death sentence.
Abortion is a guaranteed death sentence for a baby. Why mention that fact? MSNBC doesn't realize that its programming is really just a series of
total clown shows.
Of course, they prefer to use that label on others rather than on themselves. I'm Eric Shiner from MRC-TV, asking you to head over to the MRC homepage, click on the donation button to support videos like this one, visit MRCTV.org for the latest in videos, entertainment, and information, and please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to these videos on the platforms that let you see us. We'll be back next week with another look at leftist media madness.